It is April 21st in southeast Idaho. It's snowing outside and we are growing seedlings. This is David Gilmore, known as LDS Prepper. To watch over 600 videos that could help save your life in an emergency with water purification, how to grow food as if your life depends on it, heirloom seeds, herbal remedies, and more, go to ldsprepper.com to watch those free videos. It may be a cold winter day here in southeast Idaho, but we are growing food. 2 weeks ago tomorrow, I planted these seeds here in these seedling boxes according to the Mitt gardening method. All I did is I went to the seedling production section of the book and then got everything prepped. The first thing that my wife and I decided was what we wanted to grow and how much. And so here on the left hand side you can see the items that we're growing, how many days to maturity, how many plants we need to plant in the garden, the distances, the total distance, and the number of rows for each of those plants. And then over here on the right you can see how we have the two 30-foot by 18-inch boxes designed here to plant. In our greenhouse we're always growing strawberries, and so we have a 30-foot box of strawberries. The reason is because we have 4 boxes in this greenhouse, and with just my wife and me we grow significantly more food than we can eat in 4 boxes. So we've dedicated one to just strawberries. In addition to the dedicated strawberry 30-foot box, we also have potatoes. I grow primarily yellow potatoes, and this year I have 3 different varieties. I get these from a local commercial potato grower. This year he donated Excellence variety to me, 30 Belminda seed potatoes, and 30 jelly seed potatoes. I'm growing 10 feet of each of these varieties, and I will compare them for production, quality, nutrition, flavor, storage, and so forth. That leaves these 2 30-foot long boxes to grow our seasonal vegetables, which I showed you on the list. Once my wife and I decided what we wanted to grow, we had to prepare the medium to put into the seedling boxes. And so here I've got my sawdust, my sand, my perlite. The exact recipe I use is in the Mitt gardening course book in the seeding production section. And I use 4 parts sawdust, 2 parts sand, that's washed concrete sand, and 1 part perlite. In addition to that, I mix the appropriate amount of pre-plant nutrient mix as found in the seedling production section of the Mitt gardening course book. Then we planted the seeds. Link to this video and below this video I have linked my other videos on how to do the seedling production according to the Mitt gardening course book. So you can read this section in the book, but you can also watch my videos here, actually how I do it, how I build the boxes, how I make the soil, how I prepare the soil for seedling production, and how I plant the seeds. This year I decided to grow these in the greenhouse, which is much more difficult than doing it in the house because the house has a pretty consistent temperature. The greenhouse fluctuates from day to night, obviously with the temperature changes, and even though it is a geothermal greenhouse, it does get cold in here compared to being inside the house. So if you don't have a greenhouse, that's perfectly fine. You can start your own seedlings at a fraction of the cost of the seedlings that you would buy from the store, the little transplants, probably for, you know, 1/10 of the cost or less, even with the soil and the seeds and so forth. But here you can see I've got my Volt Grow VL1 grow light here. I really like this light. It has worked out really well. One thing I like about it is I can actually adjust the intensity. I don't know if you can see it here on the dial. And so at night, when the temperatures drop here in the greenhouse and I put this plastic down over it, I actually turn it down on the voltage so it doesn't get too hot in that basically terrarium that I've just built. I do have a complete review of the Volt Grow VL1 grow light. Please check that link below to watch that review. So I planted these about 2 weeks ago tomorrow, And you can see I've already bumped up the green beans. Here I've got my Lincoln peas that will be planted in the garden in the 30-foot boxes in about a week. Over here I've got my corn. I'll be planting those directly in the boxes on Monday. And over here I've got my pole beans. These happen to be the Blue Lake beans. And I have these growing underneath a Spider Farmer LED grow light that I just assembled yesterday. So I'll be putting out a review on this light. It doesn't have the flexibility of the other one that I just showed you, but it's obviously putting out great light here. So I'll have a review on that here a little bit later. I built my own little light stand here because it's crazy expensive to buy one. And I just made this out of 3/4 inch PVC. Because of the weight of this grow light, if I would have taken the ratchets and put them in the center here, just kind of straight up and down from the grow light here, it actually bows the PVC. So by attaching the ratchet on the corner, all the weight of the grow light is actually going vertically down. At least it's right here on this corner instead of on this pole here. So you could use 1 inch PVC to make this stronger. I just used 3/4 inch Schedule 40 and was able to build this for just a few dollars. And I did make it 50 inches wide, 33 inches tall, and I've got the base legs. I got 2 12-inch legs on each side. At any rate, I bumped up my beans yesterday. These are the pole beans. And you can see from the yellow leaves, I actually had them too close to the light, or the light too close to the plants. So it caused some damage there, but the new leaves are looking great. These will also be transplanted in probably a week from today into the 30-foot boxes. Of course, these seedlings need to be watered every day, and so I have my watering can that I actually made 12 years ago from just an old soup can. And I mix up the constant feed. I call this baby food. And this is the weekly feed dissolved in 3 gallons of water. So I take 2 tablespoons of weekly feed. We blend it up in our Vitamix to make it even finer so it dissolves very quickly. And then I simply take my can here, and you can watch the instructions on my video. I'll have another link to another video below here. And I just use this to water my seedlings. It works really, really well. So they're getting watered and fed at the same time once a day. So by this time Monday, I will have my corn already planted or transplanted into the center 10-foot section of my south box here. Then the following week I will be transplanting the green beans and the pole peas here in the north center box. So this greenhouse will look quite a bit different. I guarantee you the nurseries that you're going to be buying your transplants from for 100 times more per plant in cost have already started the seedlings. So you can do the same here and learn that skill. Get your LDS Prepper Premium Micronutrient Mix, the Mittleider Gardening Course book. Mix up the LDS Premium Micronutrient Mix with your Epsom salts and nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. This will give you all the nutrients that your plants need in the right amounts. You take this and you dissolve it in water so you have your baby food. And then you also want to be mixing up your pre-plant mix to give your plants the calciums they need. This is very important for root production, especially with new seedlings. And you can get your 5-year guaranteed heirloom seeds at ldsprepperstore.com. So you can get everything that you need to get started with your seeds, your nutrients, and your instructions at ldsprepperstore.com. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. Especially in today's economy and what's going on with the food supply, having the ability and the skill to grow your own food is becoming more and more critical. If you do not grow it, you do not know it. You do not know what it's been grown in. You do not know what's been sprayed on it. You do not know the quality, the nutrient density. Grow your own food, get that skill, and become self-reliant. Go to ldsprepperstore.com today to get all the supplies you need to get started.